with the Shadowbringers expansion drawing to a close, and potential job reworks and adjustments on the horizon, instead of creating a totally accurate guide for each job, then have it become moot in about 4 months, I thought it would be best and a lot of fun to review all the jobs and rank them on how well they were designed and how fun they were to play in Shadowbringers. As we all know, my opinion is the correct one, and there is no such thing as personal preferences. If you have a different opinion, you are objectively wrong. This is the internet after all, and we exist in a giant echo chamber. Plus, once a tier list is created, that's it. This is fact now. So without further ado, the totally accurate job tier list. Starting with Paladin. The glorious sword and board job and the only combat job that knows what an offhand slot is. You have a mix of magical and physical attacks that flow into each other in a great feeling rotation. Until you figure out that it isn't 60 or 90 seconds long, causing everything to drift off of buff alignment. Paladin is the only tank that actually gets punished for tanking. But don't worry, as the guy with the shield, you get a lot of party utility, half of which don't have a use. Paladin changed very little into Shadowbringers, being a job that feels like itself, but more. The biggest change it has is the same all tanks had. A lot of homogenization. I rate it, it's in A tier. Warrior. The glorious smooth brain big dopamine job that allows you to feel like a big man while doing the equivalent of putting the square peg in the round hole. A job designed entirely around showing you big numbers, then having you do nothing but wait for that next hit of sweet, sweet inner release. Warrior changed quite a lot with Shadowbringers. With the removal of stance dancing, it was greatly simplified, and definitely now more than ever feels like a job a chimpanzee can play. So quite perfect for my level of skill. It's a tank designed entirely around its level 70 skill. Thus I have to give this tank 2 ratings. Below level 70, dumpster fire. Above level 70, it goes burr. Monk. Monk. The man mode punchy punch kick job that has never had any problems with its design ever. For a short while in Shadowbringers, Fist of Fire was not the only fist. We actually used Fist of Wind, which was a shock to everyone. But then the job was reworked to kill their go-go fast fart wind mechanic, and returning Fist of Wind to the dumpster next to Fist of Earth. Once again, wasting 2 hotbar slots with their existence. At least you can actually use Tornado Kick now. It'll be really interesting seeing what they do with Monk come Endwalker, but this is Monk, so we already know what's going to happen. I rate it Monk tier. What did you expect? Machinist. Ranged inner release goes burr. Gymnastics with a gun has never been more smooth brain. A very simple job with hardly any buttons. But buttons you'll be mashing so much that the old dark arts would blush. Yet it's also secretly got some complexity to it. Because if you mess up and don't drill that boss's behind every 15 seconds, you can say goodbye to your big boy DPS. Also, you get your very own mechanical monk to punch things. With Shadowbringers, we lost the ability to reload our gun, and Flamethrower was degraded from being a heat gauge manipulation button to being a hidden emote. But we are getting a shotgun, and this pleases me. I rate it, it goes burr. Rescue Mage, also known as White Mage. So, I've recently been told that this is actually a healer job and it has other buttons than just Glare, Dia, Holy and Rescue, which is something I didn't know because healing is never required with the stun locking power of Holy, and the fact that everything is now dead, including a few of my friends. Thank you, Rescue. A job that didn't change much coming from Stormblood. In Endwalker, I have only one hope. 30-second cooldown for rescue. Make it happen, please. My friends will love it, I promise. I rate it, it has rescue. Summoner, the book job for the book nerd who needs to call on their friends to be able to do anything. You're unable to fight your own battles, so you make a dragon and a bird do it for you. The eggies exist too, I guess. Summoner is a job that refuses to be bad, even when they have built-in terribleness such as pets' ghosting abilities and having pets in the first place. I'm sure it's difficult to tell, but I really dislike pet jobs. I like having the attacks coming from my character because self-reliance is attractive, and watching me do powerful attacks is a lot better than watching something else do them. Which is why Death Flare is amazing and makes me happy. Nothing says screw you better than burping a giant laser beam at your enemies. I rate it pet job. Speaking of pet job, Scholar. Oh, Scholar. The poor thing. It once actually had a DPS rotation as a healer. A novel concept these days. I never was, and still am not much of a fan of Scholar. It doesn't help that their shields are kinda on the weak side anyway, which is Scholar's entire thing. That and eating their fairy with disposition. I guess Eos and Scholars are into Vor. I may really dislike pet jobs, but it has rescue. I rate it, it has rescue. Astrologian. A job that's quite fun with the drawing of cards and buffing of allies. Too bad all you're gonna hear about it is how the cards are now awful, because everything is balance. Balance was the best card and everyone loves balance. Shadowbringers also focused on job balance, and having balance as the only balance in your deck will definitely help balance the job, since it had trouble with balance as it only ever wanted to draw balance, which wasn't very balanced. Hopefully in Endwalkers will buy a few booster packs, or maybe even get a second DPS deck. I'd like to be able to throw cards at my enemies again, get to roleplay as a dress-wearing Gambit. But you know what the job needs most of all over everything else? For rescue to combo with Sinistry. Pulling two people at once. I can't possibly see a problem with that. I rate it, it has rescue. Black Mage. The edgelord for nerds and lazy people who don't like moving. One of the most stable jobs that is consistently good and has a solid vision, and just so happens to be the favorite job of the game's producer. It's a job that has so much firepower, parties tend to play around good ones. And even if they're not good, the Black Mage will want you to play around them, because even the most minimum physical exertion causes them to huff and weave like some fat asthmatic basement dweller that heard the local pizza place started an all-you-can-eat buffet. I rate it in between the lines. Speaking of edgelords, Dragoon. The OG edgelord who will soon be sharing his gear with the newest edgelord, Reaper. It has great gameplay that flows so smoothly between the two combos, with really fun off-global cooldown manipulation of the Red Rage mode. Plus, it's got the easiest and lowest hanging jokes that can be made at its expense. Jump off a platform? Ha! Dragoon. Stand in an AoE due to animation lock? Ha! Dragoon. Thrusting your spear is so pleasurable the white dragon shoots out? Ha! Dragoon. Thrust your spear some more that you start seeing red in your white? It's probably time to see a doctor. I rate it, the edge is calling. Did someone say edge? Dark Knight. A job that is designed to have a consistent identity crisis each expansion, just like most millennials who are now stretching over 30 years of age. The strength of Dark Knight comes from licking up the tears of old Dark Knight mains, as the job was effectively deleted in Shadowbringers, playing nothing like it used to. A job that went from being one of the, if not the highest APM job with consistent stable DPS and short GCDs thanks to haste, and a flood of mana, to what we have now, a slow mana-starved job that does nothing for 50 seconds, then presses everything in 10 seconds. Also, discount in a release makes me sad. Also, I really don't like pet jobs. Hopefully these two will change come Endwalker. Edge of Shadow does make the happy juices come out though. Below level 70, dumpster fire. Above level 70, triple S tier for the Blackest Night. When used in Bozya with the right essences and actions, perfection tier. Please try out the following: Essence of the Breathtaker, Lost Blood Rage, Lost Impetus, and fill your backpack with nothing but resistance ether kits. It's so very good. Red Mage, the go-to caster for people who don't play casters. The perfect reviving machine with perhaps the most satisfying combo finisher in the game, and one of the jobs that can easily stand on its own merits, but will consistently be called the prog job, because apparently having the ability to quickly revive people at the expense of your own DPS makes you the weak one. Red Mage went from being itself to being itself but more in Shadowbringers. A proper AoE rotation? Yes please. Something you can use when you have forced movement? Oh yeah. A button for when you can't press displacement without role-playing a Dragoon? Perfect. Gonna be quite interesting to seeing what happens to this come Endwalker. I rate it in A tier. Bard. A job that I adored before Shadowbringers, but now, even though it still plays nearly exactly the same, it somehow feels worse. A job I honestly can't figure out why I don't like it as much anymore. Maybe it's because it lost the absolutely amazing support skill of Foe's Requiem, or because the voice gauge is kinda boring, or that it went from being the insane DPS god to actually being balanced. Probably that one. Regardless though, Bard will always be one of the strongest jobs in the game, because you can play bongos for your party. I rate it B for bongos. Dancer. It lets me get my freak on and I really like it. The Simon Says dancers are a great unique system. You have utility out the wazoo that makes bards jealous, and you even have a teeny tiny oft underappreciated heal. Literally everyone loves you for simply existing, with the exception of bards. Dancer is also very likely gonna get another Simon Says dance come Endwalker. Plus RNG, so much RNG. Dancer has RNG on top of RNG. I rate it dancing to the bongos. Ninja. Clappy happy slappy hands. Runs like Naruto as fast as I can. Awesome ninjutsus makes me feel strong. Please Square give us the fourth forbidden ninjutsu. I mean, come on. Trick Attack the job. Living and dying on its 15-second burst window. Miss a Trick Attack? Say goodbye to your DPS. And potentially your friends, because everyone is watching for it to be up. But the job is just oozing personality with its hand cramp inducing ninjutsu gestures, the blurry ninja clone, and the quick stabby attacks. I'm not sure I understand what's with the frog though. I rate it bongos because Trick Attack is basically the party's buff metronome. Samurai. The other weeb job that feels fantastic with all those Madares. Samurai has become nothing but Samurai Plus in Shadowbringers. More Madare. Even the new Shoha is fun after they fix the awful mess it was originally. A job that feels fantastic while we collect our power flower stickers so we can pocket sand the enemies with our sword. Perhaps in Endwalker we'll get a third Madare attack for even more pocket sand action. I rate it the king of this hill.
Pocket sand.
Speaking of fun DPS rotations, Gunbreaker. My current main, as it most closely resembles the speedy go fast action of Dark Knight of old. Continuation makes me feel complete, and, as a simple smooth brain, the explosions and flashy animations make me feel good. The rotation is fun, and I hope we are given a second cartridge spending combo with even more continuation, because pressing more buttons is more fun. Gunbreaker also has my favorite invuln button, being able to shoot your own health away so that the enemies aren't allowed to, which has given me my second favorite button in the game while playing with friends. You know, I've discovered a new button, my second favorite button in the game.
Oh?
It's this one.
Wait. What the What the hell?
Shirked?
Come on! That's not fair! What the
I rate it main job material. Now for all the other jobs. Blue Mage, the illusion of choice. All the crafters, AFK chair, miner and botanist, does not bring me joy. Fisher. Perfection. And there we have it. The tier list that is absolute on how every job in the game ranks up against one another. Let me know what you guys want to see next. But for now, goodbye my friends, and have a great day. You feel the love tonight. Wait, I'm off beat. Da, 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 da.
Something shit. You just wrecked my thinking. I can't remember the lyrics because you interrupted me.